episode of Gintama goes back to everything that I love about the franchise. I love the jokes. I love when it gets serious. I love the references. I love just the sheer joy, and it comes from the manga and it comes from the anime too, where it's sheer simple joy of the series, where these characters, even if they're not having fun, you can still see from like panel to panel from anime, like to animator, you can see how much like people give a fucking shit about this damn series, because you can see it in there every single moment with some of these characters have some of their best moments. And if anything, this is definitely my favorite episode so far of the entire season so far of this show, but there is just so much more to come in there, because I know a lot of people are going to remember this episode because the boys are back in town. Let's talk about the Shinsengumi and how they affected everything, including the opening. I feel like that's something I want to kind of address first, is like the opening did change. Some of the awkward things I did mention about the opening has been changed, even though it did come into like the 10-minute mark. Like definitely I think that was a huge change. I felt like, oh, something wants to be added there, and when the whole real reason of like what that scene is supposed to be, like it adds so much more to like Gintoki and the rest of the characters as the boys are there. I want to start off that saying that with this episode, Gintoki goes into a bloodbath, because immediately Utsuro's there, sending out all his zombie troops in there, and he sends out one of his best, like, Naraku members, who is like, oh yeah, he's like the third of, like, one of his highest elite members, you know, kind of like the guy that we had to go with Oboro. Like, Gintoki does not give a fuck. He gets so little of that, in fact, that the second this guy charges into him, he gets his sword, and it not only goes through the dude's arm, it goes through his mouth. He slices him down, takes him out, and then he moves on and just takes care of everyone else. And then, unfortunately, it was like, when I remember seeing that in the panel, I was like, oh my god. That was just so brutal, and it was so brutal as well in this, like, especially in this episode, it was just like blood everywhere, like there was no censoring whatsoever, people were getting cut up, it was like horrific. And then it was like, oh no, but he's immortal though, because he has to, because it's so, his introduction was horrifying. It's like, let's introduce this new strong character, and Gintoki literally, no, he just one-shots him with a wooden sword. It's like, man, you're a fucking bitch if that's the case. And just this bit of just Gintoki losing it to the rage. Like, the zombies are holding him back. They're all trying to grasp at him. He is charging in. He just wants to go at Utsuro. He is not giving a damn about anything. And he has to say those words again that haunt Gintoki. And it's that sword is never going to reach him. It's never going to reach him at all. It's like he's swinging, everyone is there stopping him, and he goes to get it, tries to go for one more time, and yet again he keeps failing every time, no matter how far he runs. And it just made so much better for the fact that he did have to run away like last time, with like the first encounter that he had, that when they were on the planet, when they were like, every time. This is like the third time he's had to encounter Utsuro, and he's had to run away. He's had like other things, because not only has like the like with all the fucking Amanto firing down upon him, he just can't do it right now. And this, like, instead of like, oh, I'll get him back like other shonen protagonists, Gintoki has a serious problem because of this. He's like, he actually feels like, can I even do this? Like, the one person that's like out there always giving the spiels, giving people hope, like he did that with Nobume, he did that with everyone else, like, he's always been there to like, I'm gonna be the one to cheer you up. And the fact when they're getting chased down by tanks and like these ATST kind of looking things, Gintoki is like, when they're like all surrounded, and I love the chapter when they did this, and it's just Gintoki's face, and it's just still faced, like with a little weird, just sad little smile on him. He's like, I've got nothing. I can't do it. Like, I can't do this on my own. I can't be Utsuro. I can't be... And he didn't need to say any words for that. There was no words spoken that. But the space and everything, and just like the music, it tells you everything that you need to know about what's going through that character's head right there. And it's goddamn beautiful. And then when you see the boys, they come through, Kondo, Hijikata, Sogo in the new gear, pulling out their swords. Albeit they spoil it as it was like the first thing they announced when it was like the 2018. It's like, oh, here's the new versions of the Shinsengumi. And it's like, alright then. But you see them and they are having a great time. They are loving it. They're dicking around. They're fighting. They're giving Gintoki a reason to fucking fight some more. They love that. And then it's like, we've been training. Kondo does DBZ style. He pulls off the headband. He pulls off his weighted gi like that. It's like, oh, I'll just pull off the rest of my weighted clothing. And then it turns out, oh, I'm just gonna run around naked. He takes his fucking dick off. And just like, he's like flashing around like that, going at like Super Saiyan speeds, like flashing about. And then he goes and steps on his dick, and that's how that ends. It's so stupid, and it's just like, this is what I'm here for. This is Gintama. It's fucking stupid, and I love it. And we have one of the most emotional moments in the franchise, followed up with one of the most like funniest dumb moments in there. And the same thing goes with like Hijikata's one destroyed me. He's like, we've all been training and powering up, and then like immediately he just pulls up a pack of cigarettes and crushes them in his hand, and he's like, I've given up like smoking and like also as well tried to eat more healthy. And fucking Jinpachi's like, so you just bettered yourself and made yourself healthy? That's not really a power up. And then Sogo's like pouring mayonnaise in front of him. He's like, to make him suffer. Like, I'm going to do this. It's like, you're just a sadistic prick out of all of this. It's like, and I love that for it there. Like, I mean, even with that, we still had a lot going on with Aussie as well, with the Shonen Aussie, with like what we got with like Shiki like with the Nobu thing. It's like, you know, who the fuck's gonna take over right now? And Soyo is the one that actually appears to this, where she's gonna be like the actual head for the meantime, whilst they can go and sort this out, because everything is chaos right now. So we've got to go and deal with that, and I kind of like that fact is also as well, like with the Shinsengumi, their commander comes in, and I swear, is that guy like voiced by like Cell, like from Dragon Ball? Is he like Norio Wakamoto or something? Like, cause I swear, it's that deep Japanese manly voice, and I would like to say that he's voicing him, but if that isn't him, he sounds a lot like him, and he's a fucking badass and all that. I love that, because it's been a very long time since I've seen that character again on screen. It's been goddamn, it's been a good couple of hundred episodes since I've actually seen that character, and even still, like, last time I remember him was on the manga panel, so, like, definitely has been a while. And not to mention, like, overall, with just all of this, it was just sheer enjoyment. That's all I look for in like a show, is the laughs, the gags, the action, the great character moments, like all of it. It has everything, and it can do it seamlessly without making like scenes weird after like weird, seriously emotional moments and speeches and all that. It's the only series that can do that for me, whereas like it just gets away with it, and I don't know how, because if it was another series, it would bug the fuck out of me so much. Like, the big stinger of this episode is like, you get see Yamazaki's like, oh yeah, by the way, I became fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, whereas like, oh, alright then, that's something. he comes out all fucking buff as shit, and I'm like, man, I wish I was that. I wish I had a time skip like that. Come out looking that fucking good old Arnie. Like, overall, it's a fantastic episode. I absolutely enjoyed it. Like, 100 tidbits. I will say, this the preview, if anything, there's bits of the preview and also as well the opening spoils some things about what's to come in this arc, so I would definitely say that. And I will say as well, like, definitely I did notice, like, again, the pacing was pretty fast, but with the amount of material that they put in here, it did make sense and all that. And it runs through perfectly. I can just still see that, and considering where the series is going, ending pretty soon, yeah, that makes sense and all that. But overall, goddamn loved it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. That's all from me though, and I'll see you guys though next time.